In a moment, you'll see the simultaneous, coordinated efforts of the Ukrainian elite forces and mercenaries. They blew up Russian positions with explosives. They captured many Russian soldiers and much more. Get your pen and paper ready, because we're going to learn some very important military details today. October 17, 2024, at 10:30 a.m., Ukrainian elite forces launched an armored infantry assault within a few hundred meters of Russian positions. The Russians already knew that the Ukrainian elite forces were approaching in armored vehicles. They used FPV drones to repel them, but were unsuccessful. As a result, a fierce firefight broke out as soon as the Ukrainians disembarked from their armored vehicles. It had begun the moment the clash erupted. Within seconds, both sides were locked in close combat.
Тихо. Там кто-то есть. Whoa!
The dense foliage of the trees significantly reduces visibility. Because they are in an open area, sounds seem closer, and they may have trouble determining the direction from which the sound is coming. On the one hand, the Russians are trying to locate Ukrainian elite forces that are launching counterattacks with FPV drones. There are enemy infantry on the ground, but there are also enemy armed drones in the air. This is a difficult operation in every respect. At the same time, you can hear the loud explosions of Russian artillery shells. They're landing very close by, but thankfully, no one was injured.
Yeah!
Here, the Russians' artillery attacks against the Ukrainian elite are clearly visible. Fortunately, none of the shells hit their targets. Our men are able to continue advancing safely.
Там пека.
Це наш кулеметник зліво. Лівий фланг, робота, кулемет.
Все цели!
I guess God really does protect the Ukrainian elite.
А? Крейс, стой! Вітер там! Вітер! Вітер гранату кине! Нахуй, заткни еб... Класс! Контрольный... Де їх? Сектора, беріть сектора.
The other Ukrainian unit, meanwhile, began circling around to the other side, which was out of the Russians' line of sight. This way, they will be able to pin the enemy down from the other side.
Детройт, я мутний, викурюємо їх. Щас РПГ в'їбем туди.
РПГ, да?
Плюс. Сюди! Сюди бігом!
That's exactly what happened. The Ukrainian elite surrounded the Russians from an unexpected direction. The Ukrainian elite called on them to surrender. These soldiers, who used their heads, immediately responded positively to the call. There was nowhere left for them to go or hide anyway. There was no point in resisting. The faces of the Russians who surrendered were pixelated to conceal their identities.
Братан, ти медик, да? Замотай, пожалуйста. Блядь, він хоч і підер, но мені його трошки жалко. Замотай. Подивись, що у нього.
Here are the drone footage showing the captured Russian soldiers being evacuated in a single file. The next day, the Ukrainian elite forces secured the wooded area. They cleared it of the enemy. Now, after resting in a basement, They have begun the mission to clear the nearby village.
Прикрий, якщо можеш чимось. Йобані марки.
Our men gathered at the temporary assembly point and discussed what course of action to take based on the information they received from the drone operators. This village is dangerous. There could be traps everywhere. Shots could be fired from a window at any moment.
Є хто в домі?
Слева від себе зачисти, я не бачу.
Чисто.
Чисто.
Задача. Зараз ми чистимо той напроти будинку.
Ото, да?
Ото, да.
Граната.
Our men are checking each house one by one. They're throwing explosives into the basements. They won't leave until they're sure the area is clear.
Воно розрядилося, а движуха саме починається.
В доме, в подвале. Два. Четверо цивільних. Четверо цивільних.
2 сюди, 1 тил.
It's important to work in coordination and keep the radios on at all times. They're doing their best to avoid going in the wrong direction and to prevent friendly fire.
Якщо у вас там є друзі.
Хто вміє на русскому?
Our men captured another group of Russian soldiers who were hiding in the basement. They surrendered all their weapons and took off their body armor.
Не сильно? Не сильно пережав?
Зустрінуть представники суміжників.
Ну ми ще не закінчили.
A Russian Mavic reconnaissance drone was spotted in the air, and the enemy drone was immediately brought down using a fishing line-style system. The Ukrainian elite in the village requested an armored vehicle to evacuate their wounded soldiers. The armored vehicle, which arrived at the scene immediately, successfully carried out the evacuation mission.
Да.
Залишайтесь у укритті, коли буде тихіше, повернетесь. Ви молодці. Є вам трохи погрожені, правильно?
Плюс і уїхали.
Воюємо далі. Наші дві хатки осталися. Всім до побачення. Цілую, люблю.
Meanwhile, the remaining soldiers are standing by to maintain security in the village they captured. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Now let's move on to the next segment. Around 2 a.m. on October 7th, 2025, special Ukrainian units wearing green armbands are preparing for a new raid on Russian positions. Having gathered all their equipment, the unit set out in armored vehicles. As dawn broke, the unit launched an assault on the enemy's position. The clash began very quickly. It appears that some of the Russian reconnaissance drones managed to survive and detected the Ukrainian forces' attack on the Russians. The Russians were meant to be ambushed in the early morning, but they were alert and noticed it. A fierce firefight broke out at close range. Early that morning, most of the soldiers at the Russian positions were still asleep. The sound of gunfire was enough to wake them up. However, a truly intense battle was about to take place.
Смотрим норы, Лёшки, аккуратно. Есть укрытие какое-то? Кто это стреляет?
A Russian sniper is about to open fire.
Сюда стреляет. Подавляй их. Подавляй.
Turn your device's volume all the way up because in a moment, you'll hear the screeching sound of an armed FPV drone at close range.
2, 2, 2, плюс-мінус 2, 3. Здавайся, с***а! FPV.
FPV.
Цели! Надо двигаться.
Давай, рух.
One of our men got too close to the Russian position and threw a grenade. Immediately afterward, another flashbang was thrown. To completely destroy the bunker, they opened fire with rifles at close range.
Еще одну, подожди. Есть что? Тут нора. Тут нора, понял? Влево уходит.
The entrance to the shelter sustained extensive damage. The Ukrainian elite military issued a call for those inside to surrender. This was their first and last chance.
Брат, я не вижу ни...
Давай. Прострельчиком. Расстрел.
Виїхати туди на 12, там пі***я є, по нашому маршруту.
Есть?
Да, контролем.
Курил мы пизду. Успеем как раз. Улетело?
There is no sound or movement coming from the bunker. Our men are done with their mission in this bunker.
Давайте, я пішов. Слева по нас. Накат, походу. Ти цілий, братан? Да. Плюс. Нормально, братан, не сильно?
Маленькая, вот, смотри.
Та там чуть-чуть осколок попав маленький в руку, в плечо. Маленький осколок.
Вам треба займати найближче укриття.
Плюс. Дроны, братан. Дроны, занимаю лёжку, падаю под зеленку. Под зеленку хватит дроны тут.
Apparently, there's another small group of Russians that our guys didn't notice or see. But here's the bad part. Right now, there are Russian FPV drones here. So not only are there enemy soldiers among the trees, but there are also enemy FPV drones carrying munitions in the air. These are some pretty tough moments.
Чисто. Контроль 12.
But once again, our men are advancing while remaining hidden, keeping their cool and acting professionally. They are locating and destroying the enemy's bunkers. Hand grenades and anti-tank mines are being used to demolish the bunkers.
Займати льошки, як прийняли? Прямо на 12 що-то близьке. Їбни туди пару раз. Термобар вже готуй в руку. Підходь. Хорошо, сука. Ну що ти мене?
The Russians here did not respond positively to the Ukrainians' call to surrender. Instead, they chose to fight hand-to-hand.
Так, сейчас. Контроль 12, фаст 12. Акуратно, всяка хуйня валяється під ногами. Братан, уже все чисто, зачистили.
Плюс, продовжить, тоді продовжити.
Плюс. Подходи к дереву. Литва, это ты? Мне сказали зайти сюда, нас группа зашла поменять 6 человек. Вы вдвоем? Плюс. Ты где? Где ты? Покажи, я не вижу. Это ты стрельнул? Нахуя? Ты что исполняешь? Зана контакт.
They pretended to surrender, but that wasn't true. They returned fire with their weapons.
Давай, привет. А ну попробуй с ним сейчас забазарить. Братан! Не, он походу здесь. Нет, не стрелял, в потолок хочу. Да, ну это понял, когда падал. Нажал. Отходи назад. Надо, чтобы дым вышел, ничего не увидим. Держись! Погнали.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to show your support for Ukrainian soldiers. We'll be starting the next episode shortly. Stay tuned for the video.
Я взял. Другой тоже минус, братан.
September 17th, 2025, 10:15 a.m. The Ukrainian elite are quietly moving in to eliminate a small Russian group.
Быстро!
Ukrainian reconnaissance drones constantly monitor their troops and inform the ground troops of the enemy's location and direction. This way, they are able to advance more safely and remain prepared for potential attacks.
Есть! Граната!
Our men quickly located an enemy bunker and began throwing grenades one after another.
Закинешь, давай, вкрием! Вылазь! Нема нікого. Вообще, ну він маленький.
Друже, обстановка яка у вас?
Есть блиндаж, зачистить надо. Кида.
Reconnaissance drones are extremely important for ground troops. They serve as an eye in the sky. They monitor the enemy and can provide advance warning of a potential enemy drone attack. This is crucial for ensuring personal safety. Reconnaissance drones are controlled from that very room.
Граната!
Все, друже, вже нічого, бліндаж сложився, прийняв.
Фу, красава, да? Фу!
Ну, два видно, точно, дві руки, як прийняв.
Пацани, попереду два п***а.
Друже, не можу говорити, вибач, я йду працювати, тому що говорю, там є рух орієнтивний. От. Пошла.
Друже, ми зачистили останній бліндаж, там було терпів, ми їх завалили.
Законтролили, але в них нічого не виявлено.
As we head deeper into the forest, visibility is gradually decreasing. This is a dangerous area. You never know where the enemy will open fire, and there could be a trap anywhere at any moment. That's why the Ukrainian elite forces need both FPV drone and mortar support.
по каски попав. Да.
Our men gathered in small groups for a short time to rest and reload their ammunition. They requested support over the radio because the enemy was quite close. We urgently need FPV drone and mortar support.
Друже, нам потрібна допомога. У нас контакт, там дві пеки працює, ми лежимо в началі посадки. Від начала посадки плюс-мінус 70 метрів, друже.
Artillery support, as requested by our men, will be provided shortly. This will make their job much easier. Here comes the long-awaited artillery support. The drone operators had already calculated the coordinates with precision. The mortar rounds also struck the enemy's positions directly. The result? Total destruction. Drone operators also monitor where the artillery shells land and correct the artillery unit's aim if the shells land in the wrong place.
Чиназис? Poland?
England, Ireland.
Хуя себе. So good.
Have you heard? Where is this mercenary from? Poland? England? Ireland?
Чиназис? Poland?
England, Ireland.
Хуя себе. So good.
As a result, the artillery units destroyed the enemy's positions with precise fire. Our men returned to their own positions to rest a bit and prepare for the next operation. They will soon move further into the area to conduct a final sweep.
Ничего, к зиме отхавается, мы его схаваем. Нормально.
Our men have just a few more tasks left. These remaining positions will be checked to ensure they have been cleared. After that, it can be confirmed that the area is secure and has been handed over to the Ukrainian side. Our man will find an enemy soldier hiding in this hole. He'll talk to him and tell him to drop his weapon and surrender. If that Russian soldier is lucky, he might survive. He might surrender. Otherwise, we all know how it ends.
Чё сдаваться не захотелись? Что?
Выходим.
Дай гранату!
Мы не будем убивать, вылазь!
Дай гранату, кинь!
Вылазь, Пилипов, граната, Иван! Валила в легкую, мы выходим! Выхожу!
Оружие стоять! Оружие вперед!
Руки, вот руки!
Оружие выкидывай!
Хорошо, командир, выкидывай!
Стоять! Ой!
Все, понял? Наоборот! Сейчас, командира не знаю, где...
Не, братан, все, вылазь, ты ему не поможешь. Не, братан, алло!
Our men treated the Russian soldier politely and got him to come out of his hiding place. The soldier was then arrested and taken away from the area. In a moment, we'll be watching some brand new operations that are even better. Stay tuned.
Давай! Пошел! Санек, быстрее, у нас нема времени. Це я з собою говорю. Луганська область.
Тихо! Тихіше зроби.
It all started at 10 a.m.
FPV, да?
Russian forces first attempted to attack Ukrainian positions using FPVs.
Це зліва було?
Then the Russians began landing troops in small groups in the forest belt. As a result, weapons were gradually drawn and close quarters combat began. The Russians have launched an intense artillery barrage and are advancing their troops step by step toward Ukrainian positions.
Двойка пішла.
З їхнього напрямку, ліва рука. Диві. Да. Оце ж вони підстрілюють нам. Да.
It's very hard to spot the enemy and hit them amid such dense foliage. These are the toughest moments of battle.
Як там маршрут? Де? Маршрут! Треба й... Добре. 300, ти, Джакі, ти лишаєшся десь зверху, крий нас. Крий виход. Ти ведеш групу. Чорний, підйом. Ульман, ти лишаєшся тепер, вітаю. З повишенням. Хлопці, при любих обстоятельствах, я розумію, може бути всяке. Але, не їбе, ви повинні стріляти. Я вам ще раз кажу, всі. Ранений, мені похуй. Думайте, що тут ще дохуя народу. Я на вас надіюсь. Чуб, давай, бля, не підведи.
This line, which the Ukrainians are defending, is very vulnerable. It's hard to defend, so they're trying to confuse the Russians by shifting their positions. They'll advance in the other direction and attack from there.
Ти що, хуєл?
The Russians have gotten so close that you can hear them talking. It's a very tense moment. Anything could happen at any moment.
Кому треба ще конкурс? Можем зробити, будете без рук, ***они.
Both sides are threatening each other.
Все, йдіть. Послухайте мене уважно. Ви зараз маєте десь тако забігти, засісти прямо 1,50 м і створити мені вогневий рубіж. Я до вас вивожу групу, так? І я крайній, вас стукаю і ми уходимо. Групи проходять мимо вас. Ви почули мене? Прямо туди, да, вправо і прямо туди. Все, і шукайте друзів. Проходьте мимо них і кажіть, зараз ще одна група буде і все.
Механік, до вас рухається ще.
Да. Все, молодой.
Зрозумів, бачу.
Давай, біжи.
A Ukrainian drone operator is briefing ground troops on what to do during an aerial reconnaissance mission. They need to withdraw from this area gradually. The Russians have closed in significantly and are also launching intense attacks using FPVs. It's hard to see much through the trees. The Russians have also shot down some of the Ukrainians' reconnaissance drones. The Ukrainian soldiers in the forest are facing a difficult situation.
2 коротких, я скажу. Готовтесь.
Зрозумів, прийняв.
Кастиль взяли? Проходь.
Так, куди ми? Що ми?
Щас. Давай, заходь туди. Заходь, не стій. Там ж люди зверху. Наліво. Майор, дай сюди.
In the video, the soldiers moved between about 4 shelters. They waited until everyone had gathered, and they are continuing to advance slowly in small groups. This is one of the most dangerous parts of the forest. There's a long trail here. It's easy to be spotted.
Знімайся, іди. Я йду. Дві короткі.
Just at that moment, the Russians opened heavy fire.
Пацани. Подходим. Мене коцнуло.
The downside is that the sound of gunfire echoes a lot, and it's quite hard to tell which direction the shots are coming from.
Давай.
One of the Ukrainian soldiers was shot and seriously wounded. They need to get him out of there right away.
Оттягуй сюди! Майор! Чуб, зустрінь 300!
If they can't get out of here, everyone is in danger of perishing.
Все, уходим за мною. Быстро. Що у тебе? Нога? Давай, залазь вниз. Братан, рухайся. Ще? Да. Быстріше, уходьте. Дядько, я знаю, надо. Що в тебе, легке?
Вроді би все нормально.
Давай. Течеш ніхуйово, треба тобі допомагати уже.
Ukrainian soldiers do not leave their wounded comrades behind. Despite enemy fire and the treacherous forest trails, they carry their comrades to safety.
Пацани, хтось! Ти, йди до мене!
Вони вже на горбу, блядь, там. Давайте або рухаться.
Треба її піднімати. Алло, Чуб! Забери цього бойця. Давайте, рух! Жди. Быстрей.
In the end, the Ukrainian soldiers managed to escape. The Russians had arrived with a massive convoy. The Ukrainian unit didn't have enough troops to hold this position, and they had lost some of their air superiority. It was best to retreat. It makes more sense to regroup, strengthen their forces, and launch a counterattack.
Скажи мені, скільки ж йти?
January 12, 2025, 8:45 a.m. Our men received the coordinates of a fortress where the enemy was stationed from the drone operators. They set out to launch a silent raid on it. Let's see what awaits them along the way. One of the coldest and foggiest days of winter. Everything is shrouded in complete silence. An enemy could appear from anywhere at any moment.
Чисто, да?
As our men advance, they're also checking the holes they come across.
Айзек, я теж зараз перебігаю.
Our men have been moving forward for about an hour. It doesn't make sense to stay out this long, because the enemy's reconnaissance drones might be in the air. That's why they need to take cover and wait from time to time, and listen.
Дальше.
Ховаємось в підвал.
Залазь.
So they went into a basement they knew was safe and waited there for a while.
Так, Жорик, давай виходь сразу за мною.
Плюс.
Сейчас спробуємо зайти в цей дом.
They went back outside to resume their duties where they had left off. Everything is in ruins. People used to live here. Our guy noticed a basement. Then he called his friend and they discussed what to do.
Є хтось? Не знаю, треба спускатися.
Есть кто внизу?
Ты кто, механик-водитель?
Да.
Чем заезжал сюда?
БМП.
Когда заезжал? Сколько дней назад?
17 числа заезжали.
Сколько человек сюда завезли?
6.
6?
Да.
Где твой напарник?
Документи є?
Документы какие
Документов
есть?
нету с собой никаких.
Телефон мобильный.
Телефон сдох.
Давай телефон, пароль от телефона. Быстрее.
Сейчас, секунду. А?
Гидратор український.
Кулиш, ложи, кидай,
Здесь,
кидай
здесь
сюда.
было.
Туда ложи. Кулиш, ми взяли ще одного. Механік водій заїжджав якого числа?
17.
17 числа. Плюс. Тобто він спить, прикинь, я заходив, він спить.
Я не спал, я лежал просто.
Ну і думав, я не зайду, так? Ми ж не... Ти знаєш, кому ти попав в плен?
Нет, не знаю.
А з ким ти воюєш, ти тут
Ти
знаєш?
воюєш, знаєш?
Знаю, что ВСУ.
ВСУ тут?
ВСУ?
А чесно.
Ну, мне точно ничего не объясняют.
Политинформацию доводят, кто против вас?
Ну, говорят то, что правый сектор.
Правый сектор?
Да.
З противоположної сторони зеленки. Ви заходите з севера.
Our men interrogated the Russian soldier they had captured in the basement. They then found out where the other Russians were stationed. Upon learning this, they set out to capture the other Russians.
Стоять, сука! Лежать, нахуй! Лезь, ко мне, нахуй! Сюда, нахуй! Сюда, сука! Назад, блядь! Встал, блядь! Плюс назад,
Плюс, 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 плюс. Упрись ногой, да, вылазь, вылазь. Все, давай. Сейчас идешь за ним.
Русская граната, берите.
Близь, нахуй, кобыла!
На дистанции идешь.
Туда, в ту зеленку! Побежал, блядь! В ту зеленку!
The enemy infantrymen gave away their positions one by one. The quiet and clever movements of the elite soldiers caused the Russians in the area to surrender one by one.
Раздупляйся.
Мы стрелять не будем, если ты не шерохнешься. Здесь что? Все, дед, ну как тебя сюда занесло? Все, лег и лежишь, понял?
The captured soldiers were handcuffed and gathered in a basement to be interrogated.
Да.
The Ukrainian elite treated the wounds of the Russians they had captured, improved their condition, and evacuated them from the region.
Вверх поднял, поднял. Вперед, пошел. Вперед.
Либо скотч, растяжка.
Прямая его надо.
Так краще стяжка, наденешься,
Нет,
блядь.
повернулся ко мне, сел на колени.
Давай потугіше, фіш.
Нормально?
А є
А не надо сильно туго.
Є.
Надо бежать. Так, дед, давай
Дед, ебать.
спину твою. Фиш, подальше его немножко куда-то. Поближе к стенке.
Так, смотри, мне нужно знать его подразделение, взвод, рота, батальон.
Давай, подразделение. Девятка, рота.
Батальон.